Hi YouTube, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day out here, and I'm going to try to get a little bit of work done in the greenhouse because the plants are really taking off in there, and before I know it, they're going to be ready to put in the ground, but I need to put them in bigger pots and take an inventory on what I've got. And there's a lot to do out here. There is some tulips coming up, you know, our spring gatherings, but I've got still a lot of cleanup to do out here. This will take me quite a bit of time. So, and I still haven't built a potting station or any shelving in here. I've just been relying on this pallet shelf that I got from the Home Depot, and so I really need to get something built in here. It's looking like next year will be when that'll happen, because there's just not enough time between planting season and growing all this stuff. So this is how I started a lot of my plants. I started them in either cups or pots, separate them into individual cells like this, these little 6-cell pots. And then once they get like this, then they will go into here where they will continue to grow. And when I put these in, I put them all the way to the very bottom. So I'll put this all the way to here if I can. And all this stem here will grow roots. Important to have a fan on your vegetables and flowers so that they get nice, strong stems. As you see, these have had a fan blowing on them, so the stems are a little bit stronger. These down here have not. These have just gotten put in their pots, and I just now got the fan, and I'll rotate these or mount this fan. I just turned this on because it is very hot in here. I also used, for the cooler nights, I used a heat lamp that you would use for your chicken brooder. I put that on the plants so they wouldn't freeze, because we had some days that were only 30 for a high, and obviously you can't like put it too close or this happens. So I did lose a little bit of parsley starts here, but because that heat lamp really cooked it. So you just have to make sure that your stuff is far enough away. And you see it was really too close, but I was running out of shelf space and I pushed it away as far as I could. That's just a few little parsley starts, so I wasn't too worried about it. I have a lot more. The eggplant was not fazed by it because they like the really hot temperatures. Some of this stuff is getting leggy and needs to be rotated out. This is not the ideal setup for them. Like this here is zinnias. These will get tall anyway, so them being in the middle is not good for them. They will just continue to stretch and their stems will be weak. So I make sure we get some wind on them and strengthen up those stalks. And this is yarrow. I'm going to separate that out a little bit today and see what I can do with that. We've got wave petunias, which aren't doing so hot in the greenhouse. It looks like I need to water. These are really wet, so this is on a slope, and these are bone dry. Cabbages will go out in the garden today, depending on how I feel. it's way past due on getting those in the ground, so they really need to go out. But everything is looking good, except for, you know, the zinnias are a little bit leggy. I've never tried starting them in the greenhouse. This is the first year. I don't even know if they'll transplant well, but you don't know until you try something, and what may work for one person may not work for another. But things like carrots, those will not, any like root vegetables do not transplant well. So, yeah. So we're going to work out here and get these plants all separated out. Okay, as you see, I am taking the yellow pear tomatoes, and I'm taking them out of their cells, and I put it in this pot and I buried it all the way up to the leaves, and I'll water this in, and everywhere that stem is buried under the ground, tomato roots will grow, and this will make this a stronger plant. Tomatoes are probably my favorite thing to grow because they are so easy to grow. They're more forgiving. I struggle with growing pepper plants, and matter of fact, I even have trouble getting them to root by just putting them in the pot. I have to do the paper towel method on those, but yeah, so I will put those in this tray, and they'll be bottom watered in, and then before we know it, they'll look like this. And then once they get at least a good 6 inches tall, lose their what they call embryonic leaves here, they'll be ready to go out into the garden. And obviously you can't plant them too soon. If there's any danger of frost, tomato plants will not survive because they are a hot weather crop. And so yeah. Now this is how you trim trees. This crazy thing.